Hi, and welcome to this really short but sweet materials video. So for the first acrylic fundamentals, you won't need an awful lot of stuff. If you have got acrylics, please bring them with you. If you've got a brush and a small palette knife, that will be great as well. Don't panic if you haven't got some of these things, because I will be bringing a kit with some bits. But if you have anything, it's really good to try and bring it. A jam jar for mixing, or some sort of container for cleaning your brushes, and you will need either canvas pad or acrylic paper. Lovely acrylic paper. You're basically going to be creating little swatches of different paint techniques and ways to apply acrylic paint. So it gives you a bit of a reference sheet, a starting point, and we're going to be doing that together. I'm going to show you right from the beginning to just applying tube consistency acrylic to using all different types of mediums. So if you do have any mediums, acrylic mediums, so if you have matte medium, flow improver, modeling paste, whatever you've got, bring it with you, because we can always sort of identify your mediums. So cross brand, you know, one might look very different to the other. Potentially I can troubleshoot any of your questions on the mediums you actually own. If you don't have any mediums, that's fine. You don't need to bring anything with you. If you don't go out and buy anything straight away. Always good to have a water spray, an old tea towel or cloth for drying your brushes. Also a cloth is always good to have, a couple of cloths to paint with in your kit anyway. I like netted dishcloths. I've probably got one somewhere here. No, not to grab, but netted dishcloths are really great to have in your kit, and cheaper than any paintbrushes you can buy. You'll need a pen to annotate each little sample we do, so it all makes sense as a reference sheet as we move on to using acrylics in different ways and perhaps more advanced techniques. So really this is the absolute basics we're going to learn. Even if you're the most seasoned painter, you probably won't know everything that I'm going to teach you, so bear with me. Painters that, you know, have used acrylics before, you will be surprised, I think, to see that there are loads of different ways of using things with different mediums. So that's going to be fun. I probably have most things, but the surface is so important. I always recommend a canvas pad over acrylic paper, but if you only have acrylic paper, that's fine. But the canvas pad would be something you'd want to get moving forward, so we can do all our acrylic paintings on canvas. Acrylic sits better on a non-porous gessoed surface, so this is pre-primed sheets of canvas in a pad. If you don't want to buy the pad, it's fine, and you have some offcuts of canvas kicking around. I've got some here, you know, they're great as well. So, you know, these are primed offcuts of canvas. That's the back of them, that's the front of them with the white gesso on. They'd work in the same way. If you don't have any of those, the acrylic paper in a pad will be fine, but eventually you're going to need to have some sort of canvas to paint on. So I would say, if you've got to get something for the session, then go and get an acrylic pad or order an acrylic pad. So yes, that palette knife. If you've got a palette, that's great. I always advocate disposable palettes, because actually, yes, they're disposable, but the environmental impact of washing a plastic palette, washing all your acrylics down the sink, it actually offsets the disposable one. So it's much, sorry, other way around. It's much better to scrape the paint off into the bin and or just screw up a disposable one, rather than washing any acrylic paint down the drain. Not good for the environment at all. It's got microplastics in it. If you want to bring a jam jar to put all your slops in, I'd much prefer you to collect them in here. Then you can use them as one of these muddy colours for a background or an underpainting in your practice moving forward. So I collect slops in jars, much better than them going into the water system or into the bin. So anything that's the remainder on your palette can go into a slops jar. So you just need a jar with a secure top. If you don't have any jam jars, things like these are really good. They go, it's an actual jar for paint. You can order those, but cosmetic jars, anything like that that's got a top that is really nice and airtight. That's all you're going to need, other than I'd always say bring a notebook, because there's a lot of information going to be passed to you, so you might want to write some of it down. Most of it will be in a visual on the sheet, so with all your different techniques on your sheet and all labelled up, so you'll have a reference tool there. But if there's anything else, you might want to write it down, so notebook and pen as well could be useful. Anyway, really looking forward to this. This is, you know, quite a mind blower of a course, really, because you're starting from the very beginning of acrylic paint and really understanding it, and then we're going to explore its diversity and the so many ways you can apply it quite creatively towards the end, using quite advanced techniques. So we're going to have lots of fun with that, and my speciality is acrylic paint. I love it. I could write the dummies guide, although I think it's already been written. But yes, honestly, there's probably not much I don't know about acrylic paint. So I look forward to sharing my knowledge with you.